We're less than 24 hours from Nvidia earnings. On today's episode, I want to take a closer look at what I'm expecting for tomorrow's earnings and also some recent updates. More importantly, I'm going to say we did get some nice bullish sentiment from OpenAI, and I'll explain a little bit more in today's episode. So let's take a closer look.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so we can see Nvidia was up roughly 1.4% on Tuesday after it closed the market. But if you're watching this tomorrow on Wednesday, the stock price, in my opinion, is going to be very, very volatile right before earnings. So I don't know. We can see a nice red day or a nice green day right before earnings. Now, if you guys have watched my channel, you guys know that this past weekend I looked at 17 things that I'm kind of keeping an eye out during the earnings call. I'm gonna take a closer look at this segment right here where I think investors might be really curious of what revenue is expected for this quarter and guidance. So revenue forecast for this quarter is expected to be 28.7 billion. That is 113% year-over-year growth. We also expect earnings per share of 64 cents, which is 138% year-over-year growth. This is pretty much in line with what the CFO mentioned during the earnings call last quarter, which was 28 billion plus or minus 2%. So in my opinion, we are going to get a lot better numbers than this. I want to say at least a 1 billion beat on revenue forecast here. Now for quarter three, analysts are projecting a guidance of 31.6 billion in revenue and 71 cents in earnings per share. Again, I do believe we do beat in revenue and earnings for both current numbers and for guidance. Now the question is, how will analysts react to this and how will the stock price act to this? The question is, I don't know. But that's the great thing about long-term investor. I think tomorrow as a long-term investor, I'm just going to be checking my flags. Hey, is this a green flag? Is this a yellow flag? If this is a red flag. If all my flags look green and the stock price goes down, then I could see that as a buying opportunity. If all my flags go green and the stock price goes green, obviously that's going to be great news as this is my number one position. Now, one thing that I believe can definitely benefit for Nvidia stock price is if we do get some nice bullish sentiment about the Chinese market. We've heard in the past few months some reports that Nvidia's H20 chip is actually doing pretty well in China. So if that's the case and we hear that, I think that's going to be a very big bullish case for the stock price, as most analysts are kind of underestimating or kind of pushing off Nvidia's Chinese base. Obviously, the biggest thing is going to be any delays of the Blackwell market. So I personally believe that if Blackwell does have a delay, we really care about the appetite of the H100 and the H200. Any potential delays, in my opinion, from Nvidia is going to create negative sentiment from the consumer space, from media. I think if Nvidia mentions any delays, the whole media is going to go on full attack of, hey, look, Nvidia is done for. They say delays here and there, and this is going to cause a negative sentiment of the stock price.
Before we go any further, we are now on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for the crazy support. So if you haven't and are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support the channel a little bit more, make sure to check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode.
Now moving outside of earnings, Elon Musk earlier today on X did show off their Cortex AI supercomputer. This is the super cluster for Tesla, and it does have roughly 50,000 Nvidia H100s. So pretty cool to kind of just see some other AI clusters being built, and 50,000 is super huge. I'm pretty excited to see what Tesla can do with this. Now, Nvidia on August 27th did announce a pretty cool solution. So Nvidia and global partners launched NIM agent blueprints for enterprise to make their own AI solutions. So Nvidia today announced this blueprints, which is a catalog of pre-trained customizable AI workflows that equip millions of enterprise developers with a full suite of software for building and deploying generative AI applications for mechanical use cases such as customer service avatars, retrieval augmented generation, and drug discovery virtual screening. So they partner up with a lot of global system integrators like Accenture, Deloitte, SoftServe, Worldwide Technology, and a lot of enterprise big players like Cisco, Dell Technologies, HPE, and Lenovo, who are offering full stack NVIDIA infrastructure. So this right now with AI solutions, it's very hard to go from prototype to an actual product, and NVIDIA is helping by creating these blueprints to create more solutions for these enterprises to get to that product a lot faster with that prototype. And obviously, if you do that, you are going to increase the appetite of AI compute power, which obviously bodes well for NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is trying to give that solution to their consumers. Now, I've talked about this in the past, so there is this pretty cool conference happening right now. I think today was the last day of it, and this is Hot Chips. And Hot Chips is more of a technical aspect. I don't think investors should really focus on it too much. But yesterday, on Monday, OpenAI did have a conference where they talk about the predictable scaling and infrastructure of AI demand. So inside this OpenAI solution presentation, obviously I'm not going to present the whole thing. I'm just going to show some key points that I think make a great bullish case for NVIDIA. The first thing that they mention is that there are reports that frontier AI model compute power grows by 4 to 5 times per year. So you need more computational power to train the next generation of frontier models. So obviously that bodes well for AI infrastructure solution. This is a very popular X from OpenAI CEO, where he mentions that they believe the world needs more AI infrastructure, fab capacity, energy, data centers, etc. And right now, the building massive scale AI infrastructure is crucial to economic competitiveness. So they mentioned that this was true in February of 2024, and it still holds true now almost 6 months later. So again, we continue to see the vast demand for AI infrastructure. Now, one thing that they did discuss in this that also bodes well for NVIDIA is RAS, and this is the reliability, accessibility, and servicing of these cluster levels. One of the biggest and most annoying things of these huge AI clusters is some GPUs go down because of random issues, and that creates a lot of bottlenecks and headaches for a lot of these AI clusters. So they're looking for chip designers to make big improvements in forms of reliability, availability, and serviceability. The great thing, and the reason I mentioned this is great for NVIDIA, is NVIDIA for their Blackwell platform did announce a RAS engine. So Blackwell powered GPUs include a dedicated engine for reliability, availability, and serviceability. Additional, the Blackwell architecture adds capabilities at the chip level to utilize AI-based preventative maintenance to run diagnostic and forecast reliability issues. This maximizes systems uptime and improve resiliency for massive scale AI deployments to run uninterrupted for weeks or even months at a time, and to reduce operating costs. So this kind of showcases how NVIDIA is ahead of the curve, because this is what OpenAI is looking for, and here NVIDIA is kind of creating something along those lines. So things like this, small things like this that we don't think about or we don't really see in the forefront as investors, but we can see NVIDIA is already working on solutions for things that are creating bottlenecks in the AI space. Now, a few AI related news is we do have SK Hynix, which is the biggest supplier of HBM memory of HBM for NVIDIA, is reportedly taping out their HBM4 in October, which paves pretty strong ways for NVIDIA's Rubin platform. So overall, we are seeing a nice sentiment from OpenAI and from other industries. NVIDIA releasing that blueprint also helps with their AI demand. So again, I'm pretty excited for earnings tomorrow. Let me know what are your thoughts. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.